Well, I'm honored to be here tonight. When I think of Brother Skip and Trudy, 50 years, I was very blessed for him to ask me to come and stand with them as they renewed their vows. I'm kind of a rookie compared to them. I'm just 36 years.
36 years old?
No, 36 years married. But go ahead if you'd like to propagate that. So, as you can tell, their desire was for this to be a celebration. In a day when marriage is trying to be redefined, Skip and Trudy are a testimony of a biblical marriage, a marriage under God. I'd just like to just take a few moments to mention a couple of things about marriage. The Pharisees came to Jesus one day, and they were asking him how they could get out of their marriage. They said, can we divorce our wives? Can we put them away? And basically this particular sect, they were putting wives away for burning their challah bread. They were looking for a way to get out. And Jesus said an interesting thing. He said this. He said, it was not so in the beginning. Marriage is an institution that was created by God in the beginning. Before sin, before even the church. Because of that, Jesus calls us back, and in this day, for us to think about marriage, not in terms of our culture and our society, but in terms of how it was in the beginning. When they came to ask him about divorce and things, he said, no, it was not so in the beginning. It is not by some religious confession that we call marriage holy. It is holy matrimony. It was created by a holy God for two holy people in a holy garden, and it was good. And it's interesting to me because I believe all conflict in the world is not wars necessarily or nations, but I believe it's between man and woman. Because the first thing the devil decided to do was to separate them. And it's to this day, and in this day, I believe if the church is to continue to thrive in our society, especially in America, we're going to have to take up the cause of marriage. Both Moses and Jesus and Paul all quote this verse. For this cause a man shall leave his father and mother and cleave to his wife, and the two become one. Actually, if you look at it in the Hebrew, it actually says that a new person is created. If Trudy and Brother Skip never met before, and we met them sometime apart, they would not be the same people without themselves being married. I can confess something to you. I know this, that I could not be what I am without my wife Betsy. The two
I forgot to introduce Betsy and Mrs. Pastor here. Please stand up. The three women back here. I'm not going.
Well, I'm a spouse.
No, that's right. That's my brother-in-law, Alan. I was getting along round to saying something, but that's Alan, Trudy's brother. Betsy Curley.
Elsie.
Yes, Elsie Gordon. I do know it, but I.
That's okay.
I'm a little nervous.
That's okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
For this cause a man shall leave his father and mother, the two shall become one. Just recently, about 4 years ago, I guess, my mother died, and my father and her had been married for 56 years. And as a child, or as children, you don't realize how much your mom and dad love each other until one of them goes. They're always mom and dad, the children. But I'll never forget having to stay with Dad for some 6 weeks after he buried her, what was torn from him.
I know your dad. That's right.
Another person was gone. The one person that was made between my mom and dad. The one person that is being made between you and your wife. Skip and Trudy.
Brother Keith, can I just introduce one person? Just this.
Oh, sure, go ahead.
Jackson Matthew. Jackson Matthew, where? Stand up. Stand up. Point to him. My first great-grandson.
And that is not only just husband and wife become one, but there's a lot of little ones that follow. So what we're here to celebrate is marriage. In Hebrews it says, let marriage be held in honor by all. Let marriage be held in honor by all. And it's an exciting thing to know this and realize this. That in the beginning, creation was started with a marriage. And if you come all the way through to the book of Revelation, the time is going to end with a marriage. Jesus and the bride. I know there's been a lot of being said about traditional marriage, about submission and obedience and all kinds of things. Probably not as enough is said about love and forgiveness